Hello again, my crypto friends, and today we want to continue from our first video on how to deploy your OpenZeppelin ICO contract to a real network. I just submitted a transaction to this address from my wallet to for 1 Ether, and the transaction has already been mined. So now I do have 1 Ether, fake Ether in Coin chain. So now we need to write our configuration file for our common network. So the host, port, and network ID. So the host, I'm going to use Infura, infura.io, and I'm going to use the MetaMask, but you should not be doing that. You should probably use something else. So the port, I believe, is 443 because we're going to use SSL. So the network is 42. And one more thing that you want to use, by default, Truffle will use 100 gigabyte as a gas price, which is quite a lot. So I don't want to do that. I want to have one way, and one way is this. In 1 gigabyte is that amount of way. So that's pretty much it. And now if we've done everything correctly, we can run the same migration script, and we can say network colon, and it should start deploying to colon if everything is correct. And doesn't look like. So let me see what has done wrong. Actually, so we're not using it correctly. We need to go to OpenZeppelin to refresh our memory. How to do it? See, like I'm a human. I'm not a robot. So we can see. So the provider with mnemonic. Yeah, exactly. We haven't provided anything. It's like I did it in a console, but I didn't do it actually here. So, okay, so we need to use that environment. Let's do that. So that environment is a good way to provide some secrets to your deployment, but not to include them in your public repository. So I'm going to show you what is that environment. That environment is basically if you define some variable here and then you run node something. Let's say I'm going to quickly show you what is that environment does. Test.js, .env test. So we're going to save this. And oops, rename .env.js. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what is that environment, I'm going to show a quick overview. So in Node.js, there is this global variable called process.env, and anything in your process environment, global variable. So we can see temp. We can show like the value of this global variable temp. So if we run it, it's undefined because we haven't defined it. However, if I'm going to do like this, not button, oh, sorry, not .env. Now it actually reads that this temp is equal 1 to 3. That's the whole purpose of using that environment. So we don't save anything in your file. We actually use them at the time, at the runtime. That's it. So we don't need this file anymore. Okay. So now, what do we need? We need this. We need that. And we need the Infura provider. Okay. Yeah, you should probably, yep. Okay. And it says Robson provider, but I'm not gonna use this conditional, I don't need it. When we don't wanna use Robson, we're gonna use colon. So we probably can just remove this whole line. And in here, in the provider, so column provider. So actually, we don't want to use that. We just want to say provider and Infura, oops. Okay, Infura provider colon, our gas price, and that should be it. So now, if we do it again, we need two variables defined. So our mnemonic phrase. So remember, the mnemonic is we define mnemonic as POA is awesome, and one second. And now we can run our migration again. Dash network colon. So we, oops, didn't work. What has gone wrong? Network ID, yes, we forgot to include our network ID here. Of course, so it's 42. All right, see if it's working. We can take this hash, insert it here, see if it actually deploys. All right, yeah, it looks like it's working. So now we have successfully set up our Infura provider with our seed phrase, so we can deploy those actual contracts onto the real network, such as, onto public network. In our case, it's a colon testnet. So once we have done that, so let's say we already have our token address here. So we have deployed our token here, but the next problem you're gonna face is, okay, how do I verify this stuff? I need to verify my contracts, and it's just this kind of file that you cannot reuse. So for these purposes, I like to install truffle flattener. So that awesome library allows you to make flat files, so you can use them to verify in your build. So now I don't really remember how to use this truffle flattener. So I remember I have used them in a POA network repo. It's called bridge contracts. In bridge contracts, I remember there is this file flatten.sh. So it's pretty straightforward. I'm just gonna copy a few lines. I'm gonna create a script here. Flatten.sh. I'm gonna paste it here, and I'm gonna explain you what's going on here. So let's create a directory called flats. And now we can use this script we need to modify this a little bit. So we want to flatten our token contract. Oh, by the way, did we save our? Oh no. Okay, we already deployed our contracts because I didn't save the output from the. Oh, it did save it. So okay. It doesn't show us the. Okay, we will redeploy our net. So while it's doing that, we can fix our contracts, because see, for some reason the truffle didn't show me the deployed contract version for our. Oh, I see. No, actually it worked perfectly fine. It's us. We commented out. No, we didn't. No, it should be shown. And by the way, we forgot to do one more thing that I remember right now, that Since our token is mintable, let's see. Actually, yeah, let's see how this contract works, because I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Let's look at the OpenZeppelin. How does the actual purchase is going to work? Crowdsale, validation. Oops, validation. TimedCrowdsale, CappedCrowdale. Oh, Crowdsale. So if we're gonna execute by token, see, I don't remember how this contract works, so I'm just trying to see pretty quickly. Process purchase, post-validate purchase, post-validate purchase. See, I made one mistake. See, like we defined our Crowdsale, but we actually, in our Crowdsale, we don't sell any token, which is weird, right? Like, so we made it incorrectly because we forgot to add one more thing. And because I was like, okay, how do we actually sell the token? I don't remember that we set anything to mint produce tokens. So the Crowdsale contract should call a mint function on our token contract. And there is this folder called emission and minted Crowdsale. That's what we need to add as well, which overrides this method called deliver tokens. And deliver tokens will be called, yeah, see, I don't know how it works, so I'm learning with you. Deliver tokens is gonna call here, and since we're overriding it, let's see where it goes. Process purchase, and process purchase is going to be called when we buy tokens. That's it. So let's add it. Let's add to our Crowdsale contract emission minted Crowdsale solidity. And we need to add it here. I don't think it has any constructor, minted Crowdsale. So yeah, it just basically is overriding the method. That's it. Let's make sure it compiles everything. So, and the reason why we didn't, we forgot to add it because we didn't write any single unit test, and you should always write unit test whenever you do touch especially solidity stuff. Unit test will help you a lot in the long run, and since it's our Crowdsale is a combination of contracts, we should definitely test it out. So here, let's do the flatten, and we need to flatten our weather token. That's solidity, and into flat. So let's do, okay. And we have flats. Okay, so we now just flatten our token contract, and let's do the same for our Crowdsale. And here. Okay, so now we have the flats. Let's do deployment again. Because we have, now we're gonna deploy our correct contract, not the one with the bug. While it's deploying, maybe we can do some some tests if time allows us, or maybe I'll do the next tutorial on how to write unit tests and how to write a simple front-end app that you can connect your Crowdsale with MetaMask so anybody can buy your token with MetaMask. Okay. So, oh, by the way, yes, one more thing that you need to add to your deployment script is that now you will not be able to buy your token for one simple reason, because in a minted Crowdsale contract, here, if you look at how it works, Crowdsale, emission, minted, it's calling the mint method. And mint method is only allowed to be called from the owner. And the owner at this time is our yeah, I don't know the truffle why it's not printing out the weather token. But anyways, so we should say we need to transfer ownership from our own address to the Crowdsale address. How do we do that? So we say, give me a moment. So we need to get the address of this ICO contract. So we do it the same way we did for the token, like this. So deployed Crowdsale is weather Crowdsale. And let's see if it gives us any address. So since we're modifying our stuff, I'm gonna use test RPC for now and address. So test RPC is just the quicker way to test everything. Migrate development. It's pretty fast. Yep, okay. So now all I need, there is some kind of issue with truffle. It doesn't exit the process. I don't know, maybe I should file a bug about that. So deployed Crowdsale, and now we need to transfer ownership from our address to the address of the Crowdsale, so the Crowdsale will be able to mint tokens. Okay, so we have to deploy token, transfer ownership, and to this address. All right, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, I can see this is a transaction hash for the transfer ownership. And we can say console.log contracts deployed, and we can say deployed Crowdsale that address and deployed token that address. Let's do that. Yep. All right. Or maybe it waits for something, return true or something. I don't know. I don't know why the truffle doesn't exit the process. Kind of annoying. All right. Sounds good. So now let's redeploy the contracts onto the real network. So using the same mnemonic phrase with a network colon. So, and then we will be able to verify contracts. So let's see, let's wait. While it's doing that, maybe I do want to write a unit test. One in Crowdsale, end-to-end test.js. So basically here, I don't remember how to write unit test. And what do you do when you don't know how to do stuff? You go to OpenZeppelin, because those guys are awesome. And you need to have this. So this way you can whether Crowdsale. All right. Huh. It didn't print the, it didn't run it fully, but let's verify. Let's see. Yeah, I have no idea why truffle. See, like truffle is it's a buggy software. Sorry, guys. Nothing I can do about it. But yeah, that's why I use my own deployment scripts. Sorry, maybe truffle will see this video. Maybe they'll make some improvements. Why it didn't work, why it doesn't print out all the things that it should. So, but I can figure it out. So we have this weather token here. We can go to either scan. Oh, not the mainnet. We need Kovan. Kovan. We need to verify this contract. It's called weather token. So it was using 0.24 with optimization enabled. And here we have the flattened file. And we can just verify this contract here. Let's see. Please verify this contract. Yeah, success. We have successfully verified our token address, which means we can read the ABI from it. We can see it, Mindy hasn't been finished, and blah, blah, blah. So, and we can see the owner. So remember we sent the transaction to transfer ownership. So the owner should be no, it didn't send the transaction. That's how I know. That's how I know that the previous deployment, it didn't work. So please work. I see, because it didn't run this function transfer ownership. Oops. What has gone wrong? Deploying weather Crowdsale. Oh, okay. See, that's why I don't like truffle so much for deployments. It generates the transaction twice. So let's revise our deployment, see if there is any bug in it. Await deployment, deploy the contract. I have no idea why I was getting this issue, but I was just rerun the same from the iTerm, not from the Visual Studio, and it seems to be working fine. It's just weird. So now we have these two contracts deployed. Let's verify them. This is, the first one is Crowdsale. The second one is token. So this is the token. And we don't need to re-verify that because we have verified pretty much same contract and it already knows the code. It's a similar match. So we can see that the owner is 3A, which is 3A. So that means our transfer ownership has been successful. So now we just need to verify our whether Crowdsale contract. Put the compiler and run the flattener. Let's run the flattener again. Okay. All right. Verify and publish. Ta-da! So now we have successfully verified our weather Crowdsale. It should all be working. This is our cap rate. So basically, if we send this is the opening time, and we can see epoch converter. This is, so it's already running as a, like, so it's open right now, so we can send some Kether to this cell. So I'm just gonna send like 0.1 Kether to this cell. And we should be able to buy 100 of weather tokens. So let's see, let the Etherscan process our transactions, but if we can check here, so we should see our token contract. And we can see that, no, not this one. Oops. Oops, out of gas. Yes, yes, yes. So we sent some money in there, but we didn't specify the gas. So we just ran out of gas. So we weren't able to buy any tokens. So make sure you set some good amount of gas to this contract. So let's try it again. Let's do send 0.1 and let's put 251 gigawatt gas price. That should work right now, I believe. 250 gas limit is plenty to make a transaction successful. Oh, here we go. So now it's a successful transaction. It made an internal transfer to the owner of this contract. It actually used only 100,000 of gas. If we refresh it again, and we can see we actually got 100 of ERC20 weather tokens. Ta-da! So everything has worked successfully well. And now, when the Crowdsale, and some people will wonder, like, okay, there is this like a minting function, right? And it says minting finish false. Let's see how does the Zeppelin handles that case for the mintable Crowdsale. So I believe when the sale is gonna end, let's see. Is there any method to finish the sale? Post validate purchase deliver tokens, process purchase, update purchasing state. So looks like we would need to write our own method. This Crowdsale is not totally finished. We would want to add something like finish Crowdsale. So let's look at the tests. Crowdsale Crowdsale. Is there any? Yeah. So we definitely need more function like finish Crowdsale. So let's see if there is any placeholder method for this function. Post validate, process, update. Full extension will require internal state to check for validity, guarantee user contributions. Okay. So we need some kind of finalize method. Let's do that. So let's say like if we finish our Crowdsale, we can run some finalize methods, only owner. I believe Crowdsale is ownable. No, it's not. Okay. Let's see if there is anything like that already. Whitelisted Crowdsale, CappedCrowdale, price, using price, distribution, finalizable Crowdsale. That's what I am looking for. TimedCrowdsale. Okay. Pretty much that's what I need to do. Yep. So I can reuse this contract, and it's already inheriting TimedCrowdsale. So I probably yeah, I can leave that. I think here's what I can do. So import so now it doesn't do autocomplete, so I'm gonna do not the emission. Okay. So distribution, finalizable Crowdsale. So in finalizable, I'm just gonna substitute that. I'm not sure if I can do that, but let's see. Truffle compile. If it's gonna, nope. So we cannot do that. So that means we can do it like that. Probably. What's going on? Finalizable Crowdsale. So yeah, I had an issue there. Yeah, okay. I think this is gonna fail because it's calling this contract and it's like, no, I don't know what the hell is going on. So it might fail. No, it didn't. Okay. So so it's a finalizable Crowdsale, and here, since it's already finalizable, it's already ownable, and the owner, whoever deploys that, so we need to override this function, finalization. So, and the finalization is, we need to call token finish mending, right? I think that's it. That's all we need to call. MintableToken finish minting. If you want to add something else, like in this method, let's say give 20% to founders of this contract, you can do that. You can make some calculations here, like you can get the token total supply multiply by 0.2, and then you can get the 20%, and then you can mint those additional 20% to the founders. I mean, you can do all kinds of custom stuff here, but we just want to make it right. I forgot to add about that, so let's do it again. That's another reason why you should always write unit test, and we're going to learn how to do that. Let's see if we can compile this contract. No token not found or not visible argument woke up in a contract ERC20. Okay. Let's see what's going on. And let's find out. Crowdsale, public token. Oh yeah, yes. Okay, that makes sense. Perfect. So that's because our token is the type of ERC20. ERC20 interface doesn't have the mintable token interface. So we can say, we can define some interface here pretty quick. Mintable interface. And we can say finish minting function, finish minting. Let's see how it's been defined there. Token finish minting. Finish minting. I'm just gonna copy this here. We don't need that's it. That's our interface. Mintable ERC20. So we only need to call that method. So basically here we say mintable token, mintable token equals token. And here we're gonna call that function. So that's it. Let's compile it. Fingers crossed. Come on. Yeah. So we have successfully compiled it. And now, basically, how is it going to work? So we are going to reuse the finalizable Crowdsale. And it has this finalize method that can only be called by owner. And it will make sure it can only be called once. So it will also make sure that the time has passed. So after the time has passed, it's gonna call the finalization. You can rewrite this finalize method. Maybe you don't need the whole finalizable Crowdsale contract. Maybe you can define your own finalize method. Let's say, here's how I would do it. I would add a or, I would say or, either the time has passed or maybe the cap has already been reached, so we don't have to wait for a year in order to finalize the sale, right? Because we're also using the CappedCrowdale. So actually, let's do that. That just makes perfect sense in our case. We don't need this whole finalizable Crowdsale. We just only need TimedCrowdsale. And how do you add your custom logic? I mean, we can leave it like that. It's just gonna add some more code, but yeah, we don't need to. Yeah, I don't want it. I don't want it. We can go back to TimedCrowdsale. And here we need this method, finalize. So the reason I'm getting rid of it, I just don't want to have a bunch of code in my flatten file. It's gonna add more to my deployment. So then we need those variables. And so basically now we're pretty much same thing because we just copied it over. And if we compile it again, it should be fine. We're just gonna add more logic here. Oh, yes, 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 because this is not a validation. Oh, okay. I mean, not the distribution contract. So, okay, so now we can, okay, yeah, because it's not ownable. We need to add an ownable contract. Import OpenZeppelin. So it's a live coding. You can see how this stuff is being done. So it's ownership, ownable. And we can add it here. So now this is going to be able, should be able to compile. And here, what do we want? We want to add or way raised. Basically, let's check if we have any variables in the CappedCrowdale. Distribution, not distribution, validation. CappedCrowdale. Cap reached. That's it. So we just added this check. So this Crowdsale could be finalized by anyone. I mean, by only owner. Actually, why do we need the only owner? Let's make it more decentralized. So we don't need the only owner stuff. That is actually right. And we don't need an ownable contract as well. Yeah, great. So we just reduced our dependency. Always think about that. Is there any danger thing is going on here? No, it's not. You just want to let anybody to call this finalize function. It's gonna check those two things and that's it. So yeah, I don't see any harm in doing that. So we're gonna compile this contracts, see if they're working. And we can, yeah. So now let's redeploy them. Let's redeploy them to Kovan network and see how it's going to work. Oh, no, yeah, I wanted to change something. So I wanted to change our cap. So now our cap is 100 ether. Let's do the cap 1 ether. So we can check the finalization as well. And I'll show you how you can call the methods so you can test it out. See, that's why it's pretty cool to have variables in your deployment script. So you can easily change it and like test it out, but manual testing is really bad. So you should always have unit tests for all your scenarios. So you don't have the issues like we had in our first video. So now we fixed a lot of stuff. We made sure we can finalize the Crowdsale. We made sure we calling the finish minting, so nobody can ever mint any more tokens. So yeah. So let's see what's gonna happen. Weather Crowdsale. All right, so we can verify. Oh yeah, don't forget to rerun our flatten script. So we have our Crowdsale here because we have changed the code, so the contracts needs to be re-verified. Let's see. So the weather Crowdsale is this new contract. We need to re-verify that, and let's do that here. All right, I'll type it. I'm too lazy to type anything, but that's fine. So weather Crowdsale. Okay. Let's wait. And the second contract is our token. The token should, we didn't change our token contract, so it should be already verified. We can check that by checking. Yep. Yes, it is already verified. We can see the total supply is 0, and the owner should be our token contract, which has already passed verification. So now let's see. So our cap should be only 1 ether. We can verify that way to ether. And this is the pretty cool unit converter. So we can check, yeah, this is 1 ether. So now if we send 1 ether to this contract, we will be successfully buying this whole ICO cap. So let's do that. I'm gonna send 1 ether. 1 ether. As we remember, it was like, that's the 120K as a gas limit. Let's send it out. Let's see if it works. Okay. So now, okay, it's been mined. And we just bought 1,000 of tokens because our rate was for 1 ether, we give 1,000 tokens. So 1,000 is a total supply. We can see that we just bought the whole amount. We are like away, or we have 100% of token supply, and we just close the cap. So we can see that has closed false, cap reached equals true. That means that now anyone can call function finalize. So I'm gonna click connect with MetaMask, and I'm gonna click this write function. So now we can view our transaction. You just call this method finalize. It should be successful. And as soon as it does that, it's gonna call, yeah, finalize successful. So now we can check our token contract, but that now it's minting finish equals true. Thank you very much for watching. I'm done here. And in my next video, I think I wanna show you how to write unit tests, because this is very important. And the next one, maybe we are gonna show how to write a D app, how to write some JavaScript to connect to your Crowdsale contract. And that would be it. Or please give me some thumbs up on the video, and maybe express your ideas or interests on which topics you want me to talk about. Thank you very much.